is, actually, ang usually ko na ginagawa is, sige na nga, iinom na ako. Sana hindi siya mag-spill. Ayan, very good. Wala, I'm just at home. It's either nagbabasa ako ng script kasi I'm about to shoot a movie. So parang back and forth yung script reading namin na parang nakailang drafts kami. So parang we're making sure na pag mag-start na kami mag-shoot, parang wala na kaming kailangan balikan. Because parang ang pag-shoot ngayon is dire-diretso na. So parang buong month naka-lockdown kami sa isang location. Lockdown talaga.
Shit, ang hassle, no?
Oo. So, medyo ganun. Cheers! Talaga.
Cheers!
Sorry.
Thank you for talking to me, beautiful girl. I haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, when I see your photos and when I see the things that you post, ako parang, ang dami-daming stock photo ng babaeng to, ha? Or parang,
super!
Parang sabi ko, my God, ang daming bagong photos ni Lovi na alam kong tinake mo yan before the lockdown. Kasi, syempre, travel, ganyan. Sabi ko, ang daming picture ni girl, di ba? Sino nagpipicture sa'yo? Si Monty.
Si Monty, oo. Pagka nandun ako, siya talaga yung nagpipicture ng lahat. Buti na lang patient siya.
Tinuturuan mo?
Instagram
boyfriend ba siya or kailangan mo siyang turuan? Ano?
Mabilis siya eh. Parang marunong siya actually. Marunong umangulo and all. Alam na niya agad na kailangan bumaba siya ng konti para mas nakakatangkad.
Correct. Di ba requirement na siya ngayon? Pag magjojowa ka, dapat marunong nang kumuha ng picture. Kasama na siya sa requirements.
Oo naman. I mean, like, it's better, di ba? Parang, kasi, ako kasi when I travel alone, minsan hindi talaga ako nahihiya. Ako mismo magtatanong sa stranger na, do you mind taking my photo?
Oo. Kasi hindi mo naman sila
pero,
di ba?
Exactly. At saka, okay lang. At saka super post, yung hindi ka nahihiya. But, it's nicer pagka syempre yung partner mo yung nagpipicture sa'yo and all that. Kasi syempre, parang, you're not just like, parang friends na din kayo, di ba? Parang, your girlfriends do these things for you. It's nice and if your boyfriend does it for you as well. Di ba?
True. What are the things that you like to do when you travel alone? And where do you go when you travel alone? Naghang ba ako? Naghang siya?
Ako, when I travel alone, what I love to do no. Now, okay na. Okay na ba?
Okay. Yeah.
Ako, when I travel alone, ang pinaka-paborito kong gawin is to run around, do my morning run, and then explore the city. Yun yung favorite kong gawin, tas listen to music. And also, to dine mag-isa. Sobrang weird ko nga kasi pati yung mga friends ko, they're like, you travel alone? Kumakain ka mag-isa? So ko, oo, yun talaga yung hili ko. I enjoy it. It's the best, diba? Parang upo lang ako dun, I'm just observing people. Parang, excuse me, miss? Where are you from? Just kidding.
That's exotic. Diba? Parang,
I'm from the Philippines. Just kidding.
True. Ganun ang ganapan. What are the 3 places you really, really like traveling to solo? Yung top 3 places mo na parang, oh my God, I love, being here, traveling alone, like in these 3 places.
In these three places, I think, for me, Italy. Anywhere in Italy talaga is my favorite. Parang lagi siyang kasama sa sa itinerary ko. And sa Tuscany, yun yung gusto kong area na gusto kong puntahan mag-isa siguro. Diba? Exactly. And then Paris, of course. And actually, I really enjoy alam mo sa Amalfi Coast. I really love it there. Yes. Pero masarap doon pag may kasama kasi it's more of like a party.
True. You've recently been to Italy. You've recently been to Italy to shoot a movie with one of my closest friends in the industry, Connie Makatuno and the Zanja Maguito.
I love her.
Diba? Yeah.
Yes, I love
What
them.
was the experience like shooting with Zanjo and Connie in Italy? Diba? So I Want yan, diba?
Yes, nasa I Want siya. Oh, it was so good. alam mo yung parang we shot the whole movie siguro 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks lang. And then the outcome, my gosh, Direk Connie, what a talented human being. Alam
Super.
mo yung she has, she's so different talaga na parang um, she has the eye in every like scene. Parang kung ano yung klaseng direction yung gusto niyang i-take. Talagang she won't stop until she gets exactly what how she sees it. Of course, she's very collaborative as well. But alam mo yung, when I saw the outcome of the movie, parang sabi ko, wow, si Direk Connie talaga. Parang iba yung touch ng isang babae pagka
Yes.
nag-direct
Iba yung touch ng
talaga.
isang babae, taray. Eh si Z,
Yes!
anong experience like with Z?
Oh, he's really great. Nagulat. Alam mo ba, it's so funny kasi nung first
Oh.
time namin mag-shoot, um, first time namin mag-meet ever. My God,
So
break the
never pa
ice
kayo nag-meet
agad kami.
before?
Never pa kami nag-meet before. So,
Ano yung
parang nung
first
nag-meet
impression
kami,
mo? Gwapo
hi,
naman
Z,
ito, tangkad.
oo, may ganon, syempre. Tapos, biglang, my God, first scene, ano na kami agad, intimate scene. So, sabi ko, break the ice. Ang hirap talaga. But, feeling ko sinadya ni Direk na para makita niya yata kung saan kami madadala at mapupunta, ano. So, it was good kasi very professional, laging
Magaling
prepared.
siya.
Oo, magaling siya
Alam
talaga.
mo,
Sabi
girl,
ko nga, I
magaling
wanna
kang
work with him again.
artista. Alam mo, magaling kang artista. Alam mo, napanood ko yung Temptation Island. Sabi ko, this girl is so committed to the role. I mean, campy yung role, pero makikita mo, kahit campy
Yeah.
comedy yung role, talagang may acting. Sabi ko, kasi sabi ko, nanonood ako ng Temptation. First time kita mapanood sa Temptation Island. Sabi ko, anak niyo ng Philippine movie, ng King of Philippine Movies, merong mabiha. Magaling, ganyan talaga. Also,
Thank
you
you,
are
thank
also on
you.
Netflix. Di ba parang hindi ka lang
Yes.
ikaw ang babaeng nasa lahat yata ng streaming platform, di ba? Parang talagang dinominate mo siya. You are also on Netflix. How many movies do you have on Netflix right now streaming?
I'm not sure how many, but I remember, of course, Hindi Tayo Pwede recently released.
Oo,
I'm not,
top one.
I think the escort, yes, and the escort I think is also there kasi may mga nagtag sa akin. I believe it's also there. So yeah, I'm grateful kasi kahit nga nangyari to, I mean like, yung Hindi Tayo Pwede, we were like showing it sa sinehan before lockdown. Siguro it was there for a week and then nag-lockdown na tayo. Tapos, ayun, after that, after a few months, pinakita sa Netflix. So I'm happy na somehow nakikita ng tao in the comfort of their homes. Plus Malaya, which I'm like crazy about. So I love that movie. Parang it's one of my favorites talaga. So I'm just happy that I was given the opportunity to work with Direk and also Zanjo. Yun. In Italy pa. My God.
Sino pinaka-best kisser sa kanila?
Marco, oh my God! Alam mo kung weird? Naisip ko tatanungin mo to. Naisip ko talaga. Cheers! Ang hirap sabihin.
Sino pinaka... Wag mo na lang i-rank. Isa na lang ang pili. Basta pumili ka ng isa. Para
hindi kasi ang hirap
para may dalawang talunan. Char.
Hindi.
Hindi, sige. Ito na lang. Sinong best kiss? Sinong best cinematic screen kiss mo? Oh, yan. Ang mas madaling tanong.
Ang hirap.
Pwede kasi nandun ka sa role, di ba? Parang nasa role ka, parang, oh my God, this kiss, I felt like it was really the kiss of the characters or parang, oh my God, yung nag-cut na si Direk, parang, na-woozy ako, hazy, ganyan. So, syempre, di ba, may ganun tayo.
Ang hirap! Kasi parang, I don't wanna kiss and tell. Wow, may ganon. I don't want to kiss and tell, but all I can say is, they were very committed sa characters nila. No, kasi parang ako...
May Derek pa, may Jake Cuenca. Ang dami, di ba? Parang, my God, it's such a fun...
Oo nga.
Oh my gosh, I feel so... Di ba?
Yeah, I mean like, every role naman kasi parang iba yung hinihingi sa'yo every role that you do, na especially if you're doing like scenes like that. Like yung sa amin ni Derek na The Escort. Naalala ko may kissing scene kami ni Derek and then I cannot really my role kasi there is parang it's the first time she's gonna kiss someone sa ever. Parang ganon. So yung kiss ko, it's, of course, I can't go all out kasi she doesn't know how to kiss.
Di
Tapos I
pwedeng momol,
remember,
oo.
oo, and then I remember, may nag-comment sa akin, before pa to, wow, that was such a bad kiss. Parang ganon.
Sabi.
That was such a bad kiss sa akin. Kasi yun, parang ako, I'm like, because it's my role, not because I'm a bad kisser.
Oo.
Just kidding. No,
I
but
think
it's
you've
just,
always
it's
been
funny
very
kasi,
committed. Oh, go ahead.
oh my God, no, because ako, I really, medyo off ako when I see, parang, when people are faking it on screen, parang you already
Oo.
know agad. Parang, ako, my directors pa naman, especially the ones I've worked with, they're very strict when it comes to like, yung direction na iti-take talaga when you're doing a kissing scene. It's like, as in like they're gonna be straight to the point. Well, what exactly they want to see. So parang ako,
Mm-mm.
it's very stressful, you know. It's not hard. It's not easy to do a kissing scene. So yeah.
Parang hindi ako
Mahirap.
masistress. Kung ako, hindi ako masistress.
Yeah. Para okay lang. Yeah.
Okay lang to. Mamaniin ko lang to. Ganyan. But yes, again, like I go
Oh,
back to the fact that you've always been very committed to your roles. And I feel like that's a sign of a good actress, diba? What were your
thank you.
memories with your father like? I mean, do you have any memories with your
Mm-hmm.
father and the times that he would go to the movies? Did he ever bring you to the sets? Diba? Parang, because you are
Yeah.
being recognized, this is such a, I mean, like, an incredible thing to be the daughter of the king of Philippine movies, diba? What are your memories
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
about the king?
Well, you know what? When it comes to my memories with my dad, it's something that we didn't really get to spend so much time together because of I was actually in the States with my sister and
Mm.
my mom, and then so parang very limited na lang yung parang yung pagsasama naming dalawa. But all I can say is when he was alive, parang just watching him sa screen, sa TV, and you know, the way that people loved him, parang nag-set siya ng example sa akin that
Mm-mm.
one day, because I've always wanted to be actually a singer, not an actress, but I've always wanted to enter the industry. And then now that I'm here, parang yung example na yung mga nakikilala kong tao na nakatrabaho siya and everything, suddenly it gives me this certain motivation to be, you know, somewhat, if I could be even like one fourth or even half as good as he was, you know, parang that's already good enough and inspiring for me. So yeah, it was more of that, you know, setting an example more than just memories for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
because of all his children, you are the one that really went into acting, di ba? Because one went into politics and the other one's a DJ, di ba? Parang, I mean, you
Yeah.
have a relationship with all of them, di ba? I see naman in your posts
Yeah.
and their posts na you're very
Mm-hmm.
close naman to your siblings. And even si Brian, di
Yeah.
ba? You have a relationship with Brian.
Yeah.
You were the only one that really went into show business. So coming into the business, di
Mm-hmm.
ba? You carry with you the weight of this very, very important last name, di ba?
Oh
So when
yeah.
you first
Yeah.
entered this business, how did you feel about being called Lovi po and everybody knew that you were the daughter of the king?
Well, you know what, honestly, G3, it was more of a challenge for me rather than an easy way in,
Mm.
to be honest. Parang
Uh-oh.
for me it was like uh you know, I suddenly have to fill in those shoes. I mean, like fill in, you know, his, like, make sure that I don't taint his good name or the
Yeah.
legacy that he left behind. But that was in the beginning when but when I thought na maybe maybe I should take a different direction because I am just his daughter. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna step away from being just that and just do my own thing. So the moment na kumawala ako doon sa thought na I have to be this kind of person because of my dad, parang suddenly everything started falling into place. Kasi parang it's suddenly like being an artist is about being yourself. So before I was so afraid to get tattoos. My God, the moment I had my first tattoo, parang na-stress ako. The next
Saan
day,
yung first one? Yung
nag-inquire.
tito na sexy? Di
Sa
ba meron ka dito?
sides,
Ang
yeah.
sexy ng girl! Yan,
No, but yun
yan.
nga, like that's one example na parang, oh my God, I'm I'm the daughter of, you know, my dad, and suddenly I have tattoos. Parang bigla akong napagana. The next day, alam mo bang pumunta ako sa hospital,
Oh.
nag-inquire ako na ipatanggal siya. As in, ganon.
Oh.
Ganon yung pressure. And then I realized, okay, stop it. Just be yourself. Be yourself and everything will just flow. And then yun, I'm happy because, at the end of the day, parang, just letting things flow parang was the best decision I've ever made. Kasi ako, I'm not really the type to be, to portray a certain attitude or have this facade. Um, because it's like, it's already exhausting to act. 'Di ba? Parang
Oh.
when you're
For a living. Oh.
acting like for a living and then you're gonna do it in real life fast. So yeah, I think yan. My gosh. Biglang
I never got
nasalita
to
ako
work.
sa nakainom
Oo.
ako.
Okay lang, ako rin, no, girl. I never really had the chance to work with your father, but I worked on his
Mhm.
special nung namatay siya. So I was able to go inside the
Mhm.
FPJ studio. Nakita ko yung death
Yeah.
mask niya. Ginawan siya ng death mask. Naalala mo bang meron siyang death
Oh my
mask?
god.
I helped in the
Parang
special. Oo, parang ABS-CBN made a special
mhm.
about him after he died. And it
Yeah.
was also produced by Cara Alecpala. So I was part of that special also. I remember very, very, sabi ko, shit, hindi ko nakatrabaho si FPJ. Tanda!
Yeah.
Hindi ko nakatrabaho si FPJ, pero nakita ko yung, naging part ako ng special nung namatay siya. And I was able to see his death mask and I was able to see the studio. And it's such an extensive, library of movies and everything. Grabe, na-preserve
Yeah.
talaga lahat. Na-preserve talaga lahat. At doon kami nag-shoot ng spills and everything. I mean, when you look at the body of work of your father, what do you think is your
Yeah.
favorite movie of his?
Oh my gosh, my favorite movie I think would be Isusumbong Kita sa Tatay Ko.
Judy Ann!
That Yes, I love that movie. And if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of like the story of Ate Grace, or is it kind of?
Hindi
Or
ko sure.
I
Pero
don't know,
Star
parang
Cinema yan.
really, really.
Oo,
I
Star
don't know if
Cinema.
it's their story, but it's kind of like parang inspired or na inspire parang I don't know.
Hmm.
Isa 'yun sa favorite ko na and of course there's Panday. There's Panday, of course. That's one thing na siguro na parang ang saya panoorin is that he does action
Yeah.
movies na parang we don't get to really do nowadays. Na sana
True.
mabuhay ulit natin yon yung ganong
Correct. And
klaseng
you would be the perfect
genre.
leading lady for an action movie, diba? Part of your packaging has always been sexy, and I like it because my God, when I see you and when I see your photo, oh my God, as in like you really set the bar for sexiness. I mean, the photos that Mark Nickdow takes of you, they are incredible.
Ugh,
And
I
it's
love
like
Mark.
parang you take it so sexily, but it's also very artsy. Hindi siya bastusin in any kind. So parang ikaw talaga parang shit, gusto
Thank
ko
you.
mag-lobby po na post, di ba? Parang were you very conscious in presenting yourself as with a sexy image because you are really oozing with sex appeal.
Wow, thank you. Like,
Lahat ng
no, but
mga batchmates
it's
ko
just
sa Ateneo nanonood ngayon dahil sa'yo.
oh hi. um, I don't know if I'm just. I guess I'm not really conscious. Siguro, uh, I'm just glad that whoever I work with, parang they already have that certain quality that makes everything classy. You know
No.
what I mean? Like Mark McDowell, whatever he touches, or every time he clicks the camera, I mean, like everyone looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's like I'm a fan of Mark McDowell. I remember buying Rogue magazines because of him, not because of
Mm-hmm.
course, I idolize a lot of like cover girls, of course, a lot of them,
Sino
but
yung mga ina-idolize mo na cover girls?
of course, Angel was there. Isa yun sa mga
Yeah.
favorite ko na covers ng Rogue. Yung nakatalikod siya na meron siyang Chinese character na tattoo sa
Wow,
likod
yeah.
niya. Oh, I love that. And of course, I also love Georgina's na parang nasa circus siya. I love that magazine cover. And ano pa ba? Dami pa
Si
eh.
Ann
Basta
Curtis,
it's just like
sumayosi
when it
siya.
comes to Mark Nagdao, it's just like, yes, that one. I love that Anne Curtis with
Mm-hmm.
the cigarettes. Amazing. Yun, do you see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
parang the moment he starts clicking, it's and he turns his cap around. Kasi yun yung, di ba, yung when he starts sitting, mag-uupo siya and he's warming up and then bigla niyang iikot yung cap niya, ibig sabihin, ito na siya. Ready na siya.
True.
So it's just like,
Ready
it's
for
nice. And
action.
plus, ready for action. So I think, I don't know, being sexy, it's very flattering, but honestly, it's like a weird image for me because I'm really shy in real life. So
Really?
parang oh my God, yeah. The characters that I portray is the complete opposite of who I am in real life. Ask my boyfriend. So, kawawa naman,
Well,
nabudol siya. So,
ako kasi ikaw, kaya mo
so
rin
it's just
baguhin yung
like,
boses mo.
yeah.
Like yung sa Temptation Island, yung kayang-kaya mo rin
Oh my
kasing
gosh.
baguhin yung boses. Diba? Parang, even your intonations are, you can change it. And for me, that's acting, and that's really part of the
Yeah.
packaging. And I really, really like you for that. Like, when I watched it, talagang parang, ay, si girl, ano talaga siya? Parang, she is really a star. I mean, like, she's not just a star, but she's also a very committed
Thank
actress.
you.
And of course, like, part of you have 5 million followers on Instagram. Part of your popularity also is because, I mean, like, people know you to be somebody who is very elusive in terms of like the personal life. I mean, like, I know that you have a boyfriend, of course. Like, he followed me
Yeah.
yesterday. Sabi ko, sino tong pogi na to? So, sinalo ko siya, ganyan. Sabi ko,
Yeah. Yeah.
yung jowa ni Lovie, ganyan, ganyan. So,
Yeah.
you've had your share of very controversial love affairs also, di
Mm-hmm.
ba? I'm friends
Yeah.
with both your exes, di ba? Parang with Ronald and
Yeah.
with Jake, ganyan. So,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
were the what were the circumstances in which you, I mean, like, learned from all of these relationships in the past that have brought you to your
Yeah.
relationship now? So parang, ano yung mga natutunan mo in your mga relationships in the past?
You know what? I guess I could say that I was actually pretty lucky to have, been in like good relationships with these people because I really have nothing to complain about. They were really wonderful to me. But, it's just like I think uh, for you to become the person you are now, you have to go through like it's not just through boyfriends, it's also different relationships with friends and so it's just like you grow into a different person the moment you meet someone. It's like there are no failed relationships for me because I feel like you learn something every time. So I don't believe in failed relationships. I only believe that you take in something new and then you learn from it and then eventually and hopefully that the next one it you do better and it gets better, so I think that's
Ang
the
ganda
best
naman
thing about
nun.
getting into yeah. No, because I've
Ang
always
ganda
been
nung
I've
there are no failed relationships. Iko-quote kita dyan. Sabi ko, ay naku, sabi ni Lovie, there are no failed relationships, kaya mag-break na tayo. Iko-quote kita dyan. Ang ganda ng ano mo, quote mo.
I mean, but it's up, it is upsetting though na sometimes, diba, you invest in someone and then no, and then what years down the road you realize that that's not it, diba? But
Oo
that's
nga.
just how life is. You just have to move forward and because eventually you're gonna find what's best for you and it goes for them. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they are both very good people. I mean, like, I love them both dearly, diba? Ronald and Jake. And then of course, parang ikaw now, you are obviously in a
Mhm.
relationship right now. How did you meet? How did you guys meet? You and Monty?
Well, we met. I was in LA for a short trip. I think I was there for like this GMA show. And then
Hmm.
nag-side trip ako. I went to LA and then I went to meet up with my batchmates and mga barkada ko nung high school ako. And then
Saan ka nag-school?
eventually CSA, San Agustin.
Sa Shad.
CSA
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Oo.
Yes, um, and then inintroduce kami ng common friends namin, si Kylie. Si Kylie nag-introduce sa
Kylie
amin.
Minogue?
No,
Kylie Jenner?
Kylie.
Kylie
Si
Padilla?
Kylie Versosa. Kylie,
Ah, si
Kylie Versosa
Kylie. Oh
yung
my
nag-ano.
God! Oh, kilala ko si
Siya yung
Kylie. Of course,
nag-introduce sa
Miss
amin.
International.
So,
Oh. Hindi kayo
so,
weird ni Kylie
ayun.
na si Jake ex mo, ganyan?
No, not at all.
Ang
Super close
galing!
pa
I
rin
love
kami ni
it.
Kylie. So,
Oo.
yeah, no, no, no nothing weird.
I
Kahit
love Kylie.
a single drop.
She's also like one
Oh,
of my
she's super
favorite
cool.
sexy girls. Yeah, coolest. Oh, tapos,
Super
in-introduce kay
sexy.
Kylie.
Super
Mm.
sexy.
Eh, lahat ba yung mga friends mo,
And then
sexy lahat?
lahat sila, lahat sila sexy.
Oo, kasi
Oo
si
nga, no?
Heart,
Like
di ba?
thinking, oo
Sexy
nga,
rin si Heart. Si
lahat?
Len, di ba?
Oo.
Parang, oo.
Oo nga, no?
Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
pinakilala ka ni Kylie.
So nagpakilala, and then we met up, and then hung out with a friend, and then siguro we were like hanging out before I left for LA again. Siguro I was siguro five straight days we were hanging out, and then um parang kunyari after work niya, tapos ako after whatever I needed to do that day, magkikita kami and all. That was 5 days, and then I had to fly back home. And then 6 months, 6 months, nandito ako sa Philippines. And we were messaging and calling the whole time. And then we met up again and actually had our first date in New York, New Year's Eve.
Ang
That was
class!
our first
5
date.
araw ng pag-ibig sa LA, tapos nakita ulit sa New York. So siya, di ba? What was your first
After
impression
six
when
months,
Kylie
diba?
first introduced? I know. What was your first impression when Kylie introduced him to you? Ano mo, Peggy, Pogit, ganon. Anong sabi mo?
Oh, because it was just, it was nothing. It was nothing because it was just like a normal introduction. Someone na parang, parang take her around so that, you know, she doesn't, parang intro was parang mag-isa ako dun. Kasi I was traveling alone, di ba? Oh, she's alone
Bongga
there.
yan.
Yung parang mukha akong kawawa. Pero hindi naman ako kawawa kasi sanay ako mag-travel mag-isa.
Oo.
So parang, ayun, nothing eh. Kasi parang we weren't expecting this to happen. You know, but it just turned out great.
Oo nga, girl. Naka-joke ako bigla. Pa-solo-solo travel ka lang, di ba?
Solo
So,
travel,
kailan,
di ba? And then boom.
oo. So, kailan kanya inask na maging girlfriend niya?
When I
Ano muna
went to
pala, sorry, ano nangyari
LA.
sa New York? Di ba, syempre, New Year's Kemerut, di ba? So, parang
Ah,
nagpunta ba
yes.
kayo nag-ano ba kayo, kiss ba kayo at midnight? What was the
Yeah.
circumstance in which you met him on New Year's in New York?
It was so nice because I flew to LA because ito yung time na I was gonna go on like a long break. Like I said, I needed a break from work. I said I'm gonna spend some time alone, 6 months away, and then so I went to LA, and then so um, I flew from LA to New York, and then he had me picked up, and then diretso din sa car. It's very like
Prinsesa!
parang very
Oh.
very romantic and all. So he picked me up sa car. May nag-pick up sa akin sa car to get to the hotel, and then we had separate rooms and everything. But everything was set up
Okay.
already. Yeah, it was just nice. It was sweet. And then the next day, New Year's countdown natin. So nag-ikat kami pumunta kami ng Friends Street. And then we had the New Year's countdown. And then we flew together from New York to LA already. And then since then, yun na, inseparable na kami. And then we started officially dating siguro like a few months after. Like, I don't know. I don't
So,
know.
gano'n na kayo katagal?
But,
Kinikilig ka, girl. Cheers tayo. Cheers tayo pa rin
ang
sa
hirap
mga
kinikilig ako.
rendezvous in New York. Oo. Cheers.
Yeah. Well, kasi,
Girl, mag-cheers
cheers.
muna tayo.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
Cheers. Matagal. Siguro, it's hard to say kasi we don't know when it started. If it's New Year's ba or when I met him. Alam mo yung ganun? Kasi parang, it's,
Guess.
since, alam mo yung feeling na nung since nagkakilala kami, hindi na kami, parang I didn't, wow, my God. Naging honest ako hindi na ako nag-look away.
Love it. Oh.
So yun, yeah, so I think it's hard to have an official date kasi parang ang random na mga dates namin kung kailan daw yung first nag-meet or when we met up again for New Year's Eve, ganun. Siguro New Year's Eve na lang, I think.
Oo, para at least bongga,
I don't know,
diba?
ang hirap.
Festivities, ganyan. Festive. And then, of course, I mean, like, how long have you been together? Hindi mo masabi, no? May years na ba kayo?
Mga siguro, oo, a year or two. Parang gano'n na siguro.
A year or two, oo. And then of course
Mm-mm.
this whole pandemic
Mm-hmm.
thing happened, and I mean a lot of
Yeah.
couples are quarantined together, like Kylie and Jake. A lot of couples are also
Yeah.
quarantined apart, like you and Monty. Like, what is the most
Yeah.
challenging part about being quarantined apart?
Missing each other, I think, is the hardest part.
Mm-mm.
Because I was talking to Monty about it a while ago, how we're handling things pretty well. Because I remember I
Mm.
said something like, "Oh, I hope you're fine with me not being around." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm completely fine." Ang nagiging problem lang namin is how we miss each other because the communication naman, my God, the moment he
It's
wakes
fun.
up, he's gonna call me a guy. And me too, the same thing. It's like, it's nice because parang the moment something happens to me, like good or bad, he's the first person I call and vice versa. So that's what makes it really nice is that it doesn't feel like an obligation. Parang if you're in a long distance relationship, you already know if it becomes a chore, that's when it
Mm.
becomes
Yes,
a
exactly.
problem, 'di ba? Pero ito parang I'm so willing to do it. Yung ganon. Wow,
Aray.
ang honest. Sorry, wait lang. Bawal uminom kasi.
Okay, last cheers. So anyway, ako,
Okay,
I get a lot of questions about
cheers.
cheers. I get a lot of questions about LDR, diba? Especially now,
Uh-huh.
essentially, lahat tayo in a long distance relationship. Not just with our lovers, but
Yeah,
with each other. Kasi syempre, di man tayo pwede
yeah,
magkita as often as before, di ba? Paano mo mabibigyan ng advice yung mga taong naka-LDR din? Ano yung, kasi ako, I always say na parang for me, it doesn't work because I really need
mm-hmm.
physicality. Kailangan nakahawakan ko na,
Yeah,
yayakap ko, nahalikan ko, ganyan. So it's hard for me.
yeah,
But I admire people who actually make long distance relationships work, 'di ba? Parang
yeah,
you and Monty make it work, 'di ba? Parang constant communication every day, 'di ba? Parang and there
yeah,
is always the assurance that you will see each other again when the pandemic is over. But for those who are not as
yeah,
fortunate, 'di ba? For those lovers that are
yeah,
really quarantined apart and in a long distance relationship because one has to work here and the other has to stay here, what are the things that you can tell
yeah.
them and what are the tips that you can give them to make their relationship last?
I think for me, I think it's important. Of course, there's communication. We'll never, hindi naman pwede mawala yan, whether you're together palagi or not. Second is you have to trust your partner, of course. And third is the little things matter. Yung parang, you, sometimes kasi when you're in a relationship, you tend to neglect um, your partner's feelings or needs, even the smallest things, like at least being romantic, being
Mm.
sweet, being thoughtful. These things matter kasi parang ako
Yes.
number one for me is wag ka maging kampante sa isang relationship. That is a
True.
big no-no. Pagka the moment na you're too comfortable. I mean, it's of course being comfortable is great, but you can't be too comfortable to the point na you're complacent na parang medyo
Yes,
um
tama.
eh, 'di ba yung parang andyan na siya, kami na eh. So okay na 'yan,
Yes.
ano na, parang,
Mm-mm.
that's, okay na yan, we're good. No, kasi ako, I believe in romance. I believe in, having initiative. Ako, pag walang initiative ang isang tao, talagang medyo turn off
Turn
ako.
off.
So I think, for the guys who are listening here,
Parang
ang
gusto
gusto ng
naman
isang
talaga
babae
naman.
talaga, di ba? Yes. Kailangan talaga ng initiative. Kasi parang sometimes, guys always say na parang, you have to tell me kasi parang may ganun, di ba? May ganun factor. But girls would
Oo.
always say, I don't even have to tell you about this anymore. This is something that you
Yes.
should know already. Di ba? Yung parang,
Correct.
so that's
Mm-mm.
something that you should have and remember. Be aware about what your partners love. It's like as simple as like Monty, I'm away from him. He would send me like a few things, or send me like that video message just to make me feel kilig and happy. And it's the little things count. So people should not forget that. It's not about the grand gesture. Yeah.
What about you? What kind of a girlfriend are you?
Oh my